Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking, heartbreaking, and disgraceful crimes in the history of Afghanistan. A crime not committed by terrorists or armed groups, but by ordinary people, people from the streets and markets. This is the story of the brutal murder of Farkhunda Malikzada, a 27-year-old woman burned alive. Part 1. The story begins. It was just a few days before the new year. Farkhunda, a 27-year-old woman living in Kabul, was walking toward her Quran class. For her, it was a completely normal day, like any other. She finished her class and headed toward the Shah do Shamshira Mosque, one of Kabul's most iconic and crowded mosques, visited daily by hundreds. Farkhunda performed her prayers, finished her visit, and stepped into the courtyard. There, she started talking to a man named Zainuddin, a man known for selling amulets, charms, and so-called spiritual writings. Their conversation revolved around one topic: selling verses of the Quran as magic and sorcery. She told him it was wrong and un-Islamic. She wanted him to stop. But her words made Zainuddin furious. Why? Because what she said could destroy his business, a business built inside a mosque filled with daily visitors. He didn't want his holy reputation as a charm writer questioned. So he made a sudden, deadly decision. He started shouting, "Hey people, this woman burned the Quran! She's a kafir! She's an American spy! I saw it myself! People, punish her!" Within moments, a crowd gathered around Farkhunda. A crowd filled with anger, prejudice, and ignorance. People who believed they were defending the Quran. Police officers present at the scene tried to move her to a safer place. Farkhunda said, "I want a female officer," and they moved her inside the mosque. But Zainuddin wasn't done. To prove his lie, he brought out a half-burnt Quran and claimed, "This is her work. I saw her." Farkhunda, a hijab-wearing, devout Muslim woman, a Quran reciter, educated in Islamic studies, repeated again and again, "I'm a Muslim. A Muslim would never burn the Quran." But no one listened. The enraged crowd dragged her into the street, and the beating began. Over 100 men attacked her. Punches, kicks, sticks, stones. Some shouted, "Allahu Akbar." Some yelled, "Kill this American spy." Some recorded videos. Others just watched. Police fired warning shots into the air, but the mob became even more violent. They dragged Farkhunda onto a tin rooftop to protect her, but the attackers climbed up, overwhelmed everyone, and beat her again until she lost her balance and fell back into the mob. More punches, more kicks, more stones, more screams. Farkhunda was still alive, but the nightmare wasn't over. The mob tied her half-conscious body to the back of a car and dragged her for nearly 400 meters toward the dry riverbed of Kabul. There, they continued throwing stones. Among the attackers was a 16-year-old boy named Yaqub, and finally, they set her body on fire. Burned by the very men who didn't even know how to read the Quran they claimed to defend. Part 2. The Family and the Police. At 4 o'clock that afternoon, someone called Farkhunda's father from her phone. Her father, mother, and brother rushed to the mosque. Police told the father, "Your daughter is alive, but you must say she had mental issues." Moments later, they admitted the truth. "She's not alive. Come claim the body." And they warned the family to leave Kabul immediately. Part 3. The videos and the trial. The videos spread online. Investigations began, and it became clear Farkhunda never burned any Quran. It was a lie, a setup, a deliberate accusation. But before the investigation ended, several government and religious officials publicly supported the killing. And when the truth came out, they quietly stepped back. Part 4. The Funeral and Protests. During the funeral, no man was allowed to touch the coffin. The family said, "When hundreds of men were crushing her under their feet, where were you?" Her father allowed only women to carry the coffin. The funeral became one of the largest women's rights protests in Afghanistan. Part 5. The Trial and Verdict. Out of 49 arrested, 19 police officers and 30 attackers. Court results: 16 acquitted, 11 police officers, 1 year in prison, 8 men, 16 years in prison, 4 men sentenced to death, including Zainuddin and Yaqub. But later, the sentences changed. Yaqub's death sentence was reduced to 10 years. The other death sentences were reduced to 20 years. Police officers released on bail. And ultimately, despite the horrific scale of the crime, no new laws were created in Afghanistan to prevent anything like this from happening again. This isn't just the story of a murdered woman. It's the story of humanity collapsing. A story of fanaticism, ignorance, silence, and a shame that will never fade. Today, the women of Afghanistan have once again been forgotten by the international community and self-interested governments. They have been left all alone. But you can be their voice in this darkness by sharing this video with your friends and on social networks.